It's doing this automatically for me. So I have all my photos in 2 locations on 2 different drives and also on the card itself because we're copying, not moving. So now I have 3 locations where all of my photos are backed up on. I wanted to make a quick video to talk about a subject that I've been asked a lot of questions on, and that is importing files onto Lightroom. So what does it look like? What does my workflow look like? What do my settings look like when I'm ready to bring in photos from my memory card onto the computer? So when I plug in my camera onto Lightroom, if you don't hit import, there is a setting in your catalogs that will automatically pop up the import window here, the dialog box, or you can just simply hit file import photos and it'll pop up. Then you will see your card will appear here on the side. It depends on the camera that you're shooting with, what the file will be named or what your card will be named, but then you can select the subfolders, which will in turn load up all of the pictures that you have taken. Now, there are lots of ways to customize the way that you do this. This is what I found personally works the best for me and my setup, so I hope that it helps you out. Here you can actually organize all of the photos depending on how you want them sorted. I like capture time because I'm time synced between my 2 cameras and my second shooter, so I can see the chronological order of the photos. I'm the kind of person that will import every single file. So I will not go through and cull the images here. I will cull once they are all imported. Some people think it's crazy, but I personally don't want to not import a photo that then the card will get formatted and you don't have it anymore. So I'd rather have a photo that might not be good, but it could come into play later on than to not have it at all. You have a couple of different options here on how to bring in the photos to Lightroom. So you can copy as a DNG, you can copy an actual exact copy of what's on your card. You can move it, which what it does is it takes all the files from your card and moves them onto the new destination, or you can add, which is you can add them without moving them. So then to work on those files, you're going to have that card plugged in order for Lightroom to reference back to those pictures. Moving them is kind of shady. I don't like to get rid of the copy that's on my card until the wedding is delivery. It's just another backup option that I like to use for redundancy. So I don't like to use that option because it will take them completely off of that drive and onto your computer or whatever destination folder it is. Adding, I don't want to edit off of my card. Performance wise, it's going to be slower. So I'd rather have the photos off of the card copied onto my new destination. So that's why I do copy. I just copy the exact raw files over and I work off of that. So let's begin at the top here. When you choose your previews that you want built, you have a few different options. Minimal is going to give you the lowest quality copy of that preview, but it's going to be probably the fastest to work off. Embedded sidecar is a little higher quality than minimal, and standard is kind of like the average quality. And then you have one-to-one, which is a lossless quality. So it's exactly as the raw file, it's going to be a one-to-one copy of that original file. The preview will be that same size, same rendering, same everything. I like standard because it's more about performance thing for me. I don't need a giant preview. So if my hard drive isn't plugged in, the preview standard version will be good enough. Smart previews is something that I do like to build. So I have that checked on because I set up my Lightroom catalog to work off of the smart previews rather than the standard previews, which once again, smart previews are going to be a lot more performance efficient. And also when I'm working remotely, if I want to export a catalog or a library or a wedding itself, I would work off of the smart previews because they're a lot smaller in size. So they take up less space for when I'm traveling. It's a little bit easier to go off of that. I always like to choose the do not import duplicates or suspected duplicates. If you see here, I also have checked new photos. So every photo in that card has already been imported. That's why you see they're not on here anymore. So if I hit all photos, it's going to show me all the photos, but because I have do not import suspected duplicates, it's not going to allow me to select them because it's already telling me, hey, you've already imported this pictures, which is great. I like this because it saves me creating worthless duplicates on my computer. If I uncheck it, you see that it comes up again as an option, right? So we'll go to new photos, so they all disappear. The other really awesome feature that I use is make a second copy too. So this allows you to instantly, as you're importing your files, it makes a secondary copy. So not only to your destination folder that you have chosen, whether it be your computer hard drive or an external hard drive, or in my case, I have a 5-disk RAID system that I import to. Well, the second copy is being made simultaneously onto another external hard drive that I have, and that is solely for backup purposes. So as it's importing, it might take a little bit longer, but I don't have to then go into the destination folder, select everything, copy it, and paste it onto another drive. It's doing this automatically for me. So now I have 2 copies right away done automatically on one import. So I have all my photos in 2 locations on 2 different drives, and also on the card itself, because we're copying, not moving. So now I have 3 locations where all of my photos are backed up on, which is great. I highly recommend, if you're shooting weddings or stuff that cannot be replicated or recaptured, definitely give yourself lots of backups. I have that checked in, and all you do is you click, and then on here you can choose where that destination will be. Okay, renaming files is something that I do. I like to do that because if you notice, your camera reaches a certain number of images to where it recycles again. So it'll be 001, 002. And as it goes, it'll fill up and it'll be, 9999. And then it automatically, your camera goes back to 0 and it starts over again. So if you've been shooting lots of weddings or lots of photos in that same year, you're guaranteed to have multiple images from multiple shoots with the same exact image number. So I have customized the rename files option to my custom setting, which is date, time, and down to the second. That way it never copies. It'll always be its own unique file name, as opposed to having the same file name, and then it can create a little bit of a nightmare when looking up images or when syncing images on new catalogs. So once again, you have here some presets are already existing, or you can edit it to make it your own, which I just did. I put my company name, the initials of it, and then I put the date, so it's day, month, year, hour, minute, second. And that's how my files are renamed. Then we move on to develop settings. This is another huge one that I highly recommend using. So I don't like to import my files on just pure raw without any edits, because when I first lay eyes on them on my computer, I already want my eyes to be adjusted to my basic preset import. So you see here, FM base import, that's Fuego Magic base import 25 means for this year. So it's the updated version of my preset for this year. And I import it using this preset. So the first time I lay eyes on it, it already has my basic adjustments done to it. And what I have found is that it has saved me time in my editing workflow, especially when you're comparing before and afters. If you're comparing your before and afters from a purely raw with no presets imported, anything you do is going to seem very, very drastic, because your raw images off of the camera are going to be just completely bare and basic. So any adjustment is going to feel like a lot. And then I guarantee you, once you spend a few days on that same image and you come back a week later or 3 days later to look at it, you're going to say, wow, I could go a little bit more on the contrast, or a little bit more on that or this, because you were used to looking at the raw with nothing, as opposed to the base import. So that's why for years now I have started doing this, where as soon as they import with my settings. So when I do before and after, it's showing me my images with the base import adjustments right away. Then here I like to catalog my things within my RAID system. So here's where you choose your destination folder, right? So this is my RAID system here, and I have a folder for each year. And within the year, I like to name my events date and names so that they're nicely organized by dates. And I have the couple's names on there, or the shoot that's on there. And the way that I do this is, you would select the parent folder, which is a year folder, right? The yearly Matias Escurra Photography 2025. And then you hit into subfolder. Matias Escurra Photography 2025. And then you click here into subfolder, right? And then in here, you go ahead and you type up the name of whatever event it will be. So we'll do 4/13/25 import demo. right? And then you watch, you scroll down, and within that subfolder, it pops up here what it's going to look like. All right, so that's your destination folder. This right here is your secondary backup folder. So that's going to be a different location. So now you're going to have two copies of all the images that you selected going into your main destination folder, which is this is the one right here that it's going to be, your catalog is going to be referencing to when you're editing. So if it's an external, when you're editing, you're going to have that external hooked up, okay? And then this one is the one that's making a secondary copy as a backup. And then once you're done, all you have to do is you hit import, and all the images are going to begin downloading and importing into your Lightroom catalog, and that's it. So those are the settings that I use every single time when I'm importing photos into Lightroom. I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'll have lots more of these videos coming up, and if you want more in-depth, longer videos and live sessions of me editing and answering questions, feel free to join the Facebook group there, and you can ask me whatever you like, and we'll dive deep into that and helping you however I can. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.